The economy is stabilized. Nobody is trading piece of paper for exchange rate anymore. When I took over, 1.9 is 1.35, 1.45 now. It's been stabilizing there. People can predict. You don't have to know a Cardozo before you get your foreign exchange, you get your imports. Today I'm standing before you, I can brag that Nigeria is not borrowing, it's dying from local bank. The revenue, we have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August. I've reviewed this morning. Non-oil. If non-oil revenue is going well, then we have no fear of whatever Trump is doing on the other side.
Bola Tinubu always thumping his chest and bragging about his achievements in office. This time around, he even managed to drag Donald Trump into it, and with a few lies he sprinkled here and there. Was there any need for that? He knows what he's doing. He's sending a message to Nigerians. He clarified himself about the revenue he said Nigeria achieved back in August. He made it clear that he was talking about non-oil revenue. So the 1,900 naira he said Naira used to exchange when he took over power, he intentionally left that unattended. Anyone living in Nigeria knows the exchange rate before he took over power. Even on the day he was sworn in, the exchange rate remained 750 naira to $1. That was the black market rate on that day, and the official rate remained around 460 naira or thereabout. So it was under his administration that Nigerians witnessed for the very first time in our history seeing naira exchanging for above 1,000 naira to $1. As if that wasn't enough, it rose to nearly 2,000 naira to $1. So trying to make Nigerians celebrate 1,500 naira to $1 or 1,450 like he said cannot be seen as an achievement when it's still 100% more than he met it. Some Nigerians don't seem to understand how deep this man has plunged Nigeria's economy. For those living in Lagos that are familiar with Apapa, this was the level of traffic in Apapa under Muhammadu Buhari's administration. It wasn't just because the road was bad at the time, but it shows the increased economic activity at the time. Right now that the road has been fixed, you can close your eyes and drive to Apapa without seeing any traffic at all. This is simply because economic activity has seriously reduced. How many people are still importing products in Nigeria today? There are fewer people doing that because of the enormous duty you are expected to pay. Take for instance, you are importing a car that costs you maybe $500 in the United States. And after paying sea freight and other charges, maybe it now amounts to $2,500. Or maybe let's just round it up to $3,000. Now, when that car lands in Nigeria, mostly in Tinkan Island port, you are expected to pay around 5 million naira to clear that vehicle. In essence, what they are saying is that if you buy a car for $3,000, you're expected to pay $3,000 for the duty to clear it in Nigeria, or even more. Mind you, the duty depends entirely on the model year of the vehicle. The duty is fixed for certain model years, but the newer the vehicle, the higher the duty you are expected to pay to clear the vehicle. Are we going to talk about container goods? Some of these 40-feet containers, you are expected to pay as high as 20 million naira to clear them. How many people can continue doing business when the duty they are expected to pay, in some cases, they are higher than the cost of the goods inside the containers? So these are the issues. This is the reason Apapa is deserted today. And he has the guts to be throwing jabs at Donald Trump, Since he came to power, he has never mentioned Tinubu's name. All he has been doing, even the invitation he extended to some African countries, Nigeria wasn't invited. No matter how you hate Trump or hate his policies, you can never deny the fact that he cares about his country. Yes, he always works in the interest of his country. Can you say that of Tinubu? A man that removed petrol subsidy despite the fact that Nigerians don't have 24-hour power supply. He removed that petrol subsidy and today he's now taxing that petrol again. The reason they gave us at the time was that Nigeria was wasting a lot of money paying for subsidy, that money should have been diverted into other sectors of the economy. We are not even asking for where they diverted the money. Today Nigerians are paying the full price for petrol, and on top of that, he still wants to tax it 5%. Yes, that's the reality. So all these taxes, tax here, tax there, why don't they ever think about where Nigerians are going to get the money to pay all these taxes? That's the reality. They will introduce a new tax today, which will obviously lead to some form of inflation. Take for instance, they just announced that the price of CNG just doubled because they removed the CNG subsidy. They push people to convert their vehicles to CNG, that CNG is cheaper than petrol. Now they are claiming that CNG has always had subsidy, that they've removed the subsidy which effectively doubled the price to 450 naira. So can you imagine? After telling people to convert, they spent millions to convert. Today you are increasing the cost on the mere fact that you are removing subsidy. So all these increases, how do they expect Nigerians to pay for them? Because there is no commensurate increase in their salaries. When you introduce a new tax, it's obviously going to increase the cost of living. Who is going to pay for that? Someone that you are paying 70,000 naira per month, how is he going to accommodate all the new taxes? The public transporters that run their vehicles using CNG, are they expected to eat the new cost? This increase, do they expect these transporters to eat it without increasing the cost of transportation? No, that's not how it works. They are in it for business. They are not running a charity. Not that government should run a charity, but they should understand that all these increases lead to increase in cost of living. The average worker that transports himself using this vehicle to and from work every day, the person is expected to eat the new cost. If he used to pay 200 naira going to work every morning, he's now going to pay 250 or 300 naira. That's the reality. So where is he going to get that money from, since he didn't receive a commensurate increase in his salary? Yes, his salary is still stagnant at 100,000 or even less per month, and he's already spending nearly 100% of that salary on food, transportation, and few other things. We're not talking about house rent yet. We're not even talking about healthcare. If anything happens to him or his family, he will need to borrow money to go to a pharmacy or a hospital. This is the reality of the average worker in Nigeria today. They live from hand to mouth, and they're expected to continue living from that hand to mouth because of all the increases that keep coming. They never stop. They're talking about new taxes in 2026. They're talking about 5% petrol tax. They're talking about many new taxes. And the worker's salary continues to be stagnant. No increase whatsoever. This is coming from a man who promised NLC that they are not going to increase petrol price in order to force them to agree to 70,000 naira minimum wage. It was barely after 3 weeks or 1 month thereabouts that he made that promise. They increased the price of petrol. So this is the reality of Nigeria today. He's talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump will never impose these kind of new taxes on Americans. It will never happen. Rather, he will reduce the taxes to make sure people continue to shop. What's important to them is that people continue to shop. Shop till you drop, so that the economy will continue to boom. The more people buy things, the more people buy groceries, they shop around the markets, the more the economy booms. They don't think that way in Nigeria. All they care about is revenue, IGR. They shout it everywhere, thinking that IGR is a measure of development. No, it has never been a measure of development, and it will never be in the future. All that matters is human development. How far have they gone in developing Nigerians, in investing in Nigerians? No, they are all about taking from Nigerians. They will keep formulating new taxes to boost the IGR. Imagine him bragging that they've already met the revenue target by August. And another lie he told here was that they no longer borrow from Nigerian banks. That's a huge lie. If the government continues to sell bonds, all sorts of bonds, including treasury bills, that's a form of borrowing. At a time, they were even offering returns of more than 20% per annum. Can you imagine that? Borrowing money from Nigerians to repay them at 20% is too high. That's one of the highest in the world. That was why when they were offering more than 20% return per annum, many foreign investors moved millions of dollars to Nigeria to invest in these bonds. And some of them have already taken back their money. Yes. So you can't continue saying that they are no longer borrowing when they continue to offer treasury bills at exorbitant rates. Imagine borrowing at that level. So how is an SME expected to obtain loan at a favorable interest rate? If you continue to offer treasury bills at more than 20%, it discourages investment in the real sector. Yes, it doesn't make any sense for a businessman who wants to invest 200 million naira in some sort of manufacturing where he's going to employ up to 10 or 20 people, and suddenly he sees that the government is offering treasury bills at around 20% per annum. Why will he waste his time investing 200 million naira on something that is not even sure? There is no 24-hour power supply. There are many things that are not available. He will simply invest that money in treasury bills. Yes, because he doesn't need to work. He can continue sleeping till 1 year, or for the duration of the treasury bills, he will continue sleeping and the money will be coming in. He doesn't need to put that effort. He doesn't need to wake up every day and go to work or shout here, employ this person, do that. No, he will simply be sleeping and his money will be working for him. You can invest 100 million naira and double that amount of money in 5 years. Yes, there is no business that can give you such a return in Nigeria at the moment. So when they keep offering such exorbitant rates through treasury bills, they don't know that they are indirectly killing the economy, because no one will invest in the real sector when things that are supposed to attract them into manufacturing and other sectors are non-existent. No good roads, no favorable investment climate. You can't obtain loans at a good interest rates that are repayable. Yes, you can't obtain that in Nigeria at the moment. Also, electric power is not available on a 24-hour basis. It's also very expensive compared to neighboring countries, not to talk of countries we are supposed to be competing with. It costs more in Nigeria compared to the US or China. Can you imagine that? We are hoping for a $1 trillion economy and we cannot deliver electric power supply to homes and factories. We have all the raw materials, we have gas, we have coal, we have everything to fire up turbines across Nigeria to generate electric power. We cannot do it. Instead, Aso Rock is going solar. So this is the reality. If they truly want to make this country work, they can actually make it. But they don't have any intention of making the country work. That's why they always do the opposite. It should worry everyone why world leaders are not inviting Tinubu. Yes, he might say, he was invited to China the other time, but United States still remains the most important economy in the world, the largest in the world. Whether you hate Trump or not, he invited African leaders to the US. Whatever the reason for the invitation, but Nigeria should have been on that table. Yes, whether you are saying we don't need world leaders, Africa needs to find a way to work within itself and become independent and all that, Africa still needs to be open for business. When you are open for business, you negotiate with everyone, including your enemy. It used to happen under Muhammadu Buhari, under Obasanjo, under Goodluck Jonathan. So what is happening today? Why are important world leaders not inviting Tinubu? That's why he's going to Brazil, Colombia, St. Lucia. Imagine signing deals with these countries. What is Nigeria actually expected to gain from a country like Colombia? What are we going to do with the direct flight to Colombia? What economic benefit does it bring to Nigeria? It doesn't make any sense. If you want to put Nigeria on the map, if you are open for business, you must knock on all doors. You must sell to the United States. Yes, it's the largest economy in the world. You must sell to the UK. You must sell to Western Europe. You must sell to everyone, especially the people that matter, not countries that offer nothing to Nigeria. Yes, most of these economies, except Brazil, they are not even up to Lagos economy. So what is he actually doing? Why are foreign leaders doing as if we don't have a leader at this time? They don't recognize him. They don't call him on phone. In fact, they behave as if there is no leader in Nigeria today. This is hurting business in Nigeria. If you have anything for sale to the international community, you cannot sell it because you don't have a representative. That's the reality. They can't even appoint ambassadors. Yes. So Nigerians must see beyond this posturing. Businesses are hurting, people are suffering, and he's celebrating when dollar is exchanging for double the amount it was before he came to power. It doesn't make any sense. Nigerians must wake up and send the right message. If you don't send that message, no one will understand you. No one will change. No one will say, I was wrong, or I was trying to deceive Nigerians. If you continue keeping mute, continue saying, leave these people, they are politicians, let them do their thing. It is your life they are playing with, and they are toying with your future. Thanks for watching.